because I remember wondering. But what's always interesting about a case is not just when somebody's absolutely guilty. It's when, in their case, they were guilty, but the question was, did their parents, molest them? Did they abuse them? So the whole motive for the whole thing was interesting. And I remember that back when I was a kid. And this happened in like 1989. So all those Menendez brothers documentaries really brought me back. I mean, almost to the O.J. era. And remember the O.J. stuff, Vic? That was right around the same time period. L.A. was fucked for a few years with all these cases. Rodney King, all of that. Everything was going on in L.A. back then. So a lot of Menendez brothers stuff I've watched. Now, Vic and I will kind of tag team this one. Insidious 4, The Last Key, we watched on Friday. Vic, do you mind giving me my lungs a break for a minute? You talk about what your feelings on Insidious 4 were, without spoiling it for anybody that hasn't seen it.
All right, we'll keep it a little spoiler-free, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of dug it. I'm not a big Insidious fan to begin with. I always say I like The Conjuring more, and that pisses Travis off a little bit. But I didn't see Insidious 3. I don't know if you really needed to watch Insidious 4 because I enjoyed it and I didn't feel like I was really missing too much. So, but overall, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the same basic thing with every other movie just like this. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 4.
Yeah. Basically what you said. I mean, I'm a huge Insidious fan, especially the first one. The other two are just good, 2 and 3. This one was probably as good as 3 or as good as 2. I mean, it was a good sequel, and it's done well at the box office, which makes me happy. And I enjoyed it. It's worth a watch, especially if you have a movie pass. Go see it. Let the movie make some money so we can continue to get horror movies. Good horror movies, and this was a good horror movie. Was it the best? No, but it was still good, and it's better than a lot of the stuff we're getting. So take it for what it's worth. And I like the Insidious series. Nothing's ever going to touch the first one, though. But I will tell you, there are a couple times in that fucking movie that I jumped. So they were successful in that, way as well. And they had Vic cracking up. The dude with the beard was killing you.
No, that dude was awesome. Tucker?
Yeah. Yeah, he was killing you.
So great. He was the best part of the movie. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah. My only complaint about, and this is not a spoiler, so nobody needs to hang up or anything, or cut off your podcast. Lynn Shay, I like Lynn Shay. She does a good job, but I don't think she can carry an entire movie as the main character. Blake, what do you think about that? I know you're a Lynn Shay probably apologist for good reason, but I mean, what do you think about that? Her being the main character, I just don't feel like it.
Well,
she's a supporting
that
cast.
was kind of jacked up, even for you, Travis. I appreciate Lynn Shay's work. I liked her a lot in 2001 Maniacs, and I've seen the first 2 Insidiouses. I did see the third one. I've not seen the fourth one. But I think she's a great actress in her own right, and I mean, I appreciate what those movies have done for horror. I mean, as far as the story and everything, I think depending on the movie, I think she has no trouble at all carrying the weight of the movie. I haven't seen this one, so I can't. I will say this: she's one of the best supporting actresses and supporting characters I've seen in quite a while.
She's a great supporting character. I just don't feel like that she should be the star of any movie. And I feel like they tried to put people around her to make her successful, but she's just not the star. And she wasn't the star of the first one. So to take a character that was like a side character and make them the star of the fourth one, I don't know. It's just, there's something a little weird about it, but it's still, like I said, it's a good movie. I agree with Vic, 3 out of 4 on that one. Murder in the Heartland, by the way, I'd also give that a 3 out of 4. So just a FYI on that. Now, I think the last actual movie I'm going to talk about, I talked about the first movie, Creep, which was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. It's got the dude from The League in it. I saw that, and I was like, this movie is fucking weird. I don't know what to think of this movie. I don't think I liked it a whole lot. At the time, I gave it maybe 2 out of 4. I watched the sequel. because I couldn't help myself. And the sequel was better than the original. It wasn't great, but it was better than the original. I'd give the sequel 2.5. It was Vic, I'm laughing at you. Anyway, it was weird. It was weird just like the original. It was just really weird. I mean, I had to sit there, and this dude from the league was standing there completely butt-ass naked with his dick hanging out. And I was like, what is happening on my TV right now? Like, it was like a car wreck. I couldn't handle what I was seeing. I was like, no, this isn't happening right now. I mean, because this dude was in a comedy role, and he's just standing there naked in a horror movie. I'm like, why is this happening? Anyway, I felt like I was being tormented. But that aside, the movie was pretty good. So if you like weird shit, not gory at all, Creep and Creep 2 are probably your cup of tea. Not so much mine. I like weird shit, but not to that extent. So anyway, I talked about all the movies I wanted to talk about. I'm throwing out one TV show that I've started to go back and watch again. That's Ash vs. Evil Dead. That show's fucking hilarious. I love it. I'm glad it's on Netflix. Everybody who hasn't watched it on Stars or whatever your ability is, you need to go back and watch it on Netflix because Bruce Campbell is amazing in that, and made me love Brucey even more, Vic.
He's still a
It's
bum.
true. Nah, you and Brucey are cool now. He signed your shit.
He did.
He did. He was cool too. Yep. We had fun meeting Brucey. That whole what was it? Last fan standing thing he did in town.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind doing that again.
That's really awesome. I enjoyed that. He needs to come back and do it again.
Hell yeah, he's awesome. I hope maybe he can write another book. I haven't opened his book either. After I read Blake's, I'm going to read Bruce Campbell's book.
I'm going to tell them both.
Wow.
Blake, oh, there it is.
Well, hey, I mean, if you could with what they're going for, you could afford to get you something nice, buddy. I would. I'm not going to tell you that.
I need more convention money, man.
Okay.
Speaking of, I'm going to let you. I was going to say, I'm going to let Blake talk about what. Oh, Vic, do you have anything else you've been watching other than Insidious, The Last Key, and the playoffs?
No, I watched Cujo the other night for no random reason,
I saw that.
and I still love it.
I was like, what the fuck's he watching Cujo for? I do want to tell, before Blake talks about whatever he's been watching, if anything, because I know he's busy too, I do want to tell a story. I told you this story the other day, so here's the story, okay? All right, so with MoviePass, you can watch a movie every single day, and usually when I go to the movies, I'm at work, and I can't be gone that long, but I have a theater like 5 minutes from me, so, I get an hour to 2 hours if I started early, every day to watch a movie. I haven't watched any this week, but last week was interesting because I went and saw Darkest Hour on Tuesday, I think it was. It was awesome. I mean, if you like dialogue, it was really good. Gary Oldman was awesome as Winston Churchill. And then I went and watched Downsizing, and it was a piece of shit. Father Figures was a piece of shit. They both suck.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm shocked by how bad Father Figures was. Did you watch Father Figures yet?
I did.
Do you like it?
I did like it. I did.
Did you like it a lot?
I think you're crazy.
It's weak as shit. There's a reason why it's got a low score on IMDb. That sucks.
Do it.
Anyway, it wasn't good.
I don't even like Owen Wilson, and I thought it was good.
It wasn't good. Cat Williams was good for a few minutes. Anyway,
dude, the whole Bradshaw thing was amazing.
No, that was funny, him and Ving Rhames, but then once that was over, I was like, all right, now I'm annoyed. Because I didn't care about the two guys who were carrying the movie,
That sucks. I thought it was good.
So anyway, the story goes like this. So Thursday, I'm going to go, whatever day, I'm going to go see All the Money in the World, which is with Mark Wahlberg, Christopher Plummer. It's about a kidnapping of, the Getty kid in the 70s. And, they're really rich oil people. Anyway, so I go and I watch the first hour of it because it's a long movie. And I'm like, okay, so I'll come back tomorrow and I'll watch the second half with my movie pass. I'll just check into a different movie, and then I'll go to that and watch the second half at the same exact time I left off. My dumbass didn't check the show times, okay? I fucked up. So I go there the second day at 3 o'clock, which is right where I left off. So I go in and I sit in the movie theater where it was playing before, because most of the time the movie theaters, the show times are exactly the same every single day until you hit like Friday. Then it changes over because you got new movies. So anyway, I go in there and I go to the back of the theater like I usually do so I can actually look at my phone too. And I sit there and I look at this movie, and it's, you know, it's the same movie, but, like, I feel like I've raced ahead about 100 years in this movie, and I'm confused. I'm like, this is not where I left off at all. And so the movie ends about 5 minutes later. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not seeing this one. So I walk away confused and can't figure it out, and then I look at the show times, and it had started about an hour earlier than what the one before, the day before did. So I'm like, all right, so now I've got a little time to kill just before I go back to work. What am I going to do? So I'm walking along in the theater, and I'm like, Star Wars. Okay, I'll go watch Star Wars again. I'll give it another chance, because I did not fucking like the Star Wars movie. I did not, and I like Star Wars, but this movie pissed me off. Well, okay, what did I tell Vic? I like it because it's Star Wars, but I hate it as a movie, right?
Okay.
That's what I always said to Vic. So anyway, I go into this theater, and it's the Casino Planet scene, and I sit there for about 5 minutes until the fat Asian chick sees the animal, and she gets all excited, and I'm like, fuck this, and I walked out. I couldn't deal with it. It upset me that bad. So I was like, and I'm not even a Star Wars nerd. I like Star Wars, but I was just like, nope, can't do it. So I walked over to Jumanji, which I had already seen, and I sat there for an hour and watched Jumanji, and it was well worth it. Everybody who has not seen Jumanji, you should see that. Skip Star Wars. And word of mouth has proven me right about that, isn't it, Vic?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, everybody's seeing Star Wars because it's Star Wars, but the actual business is picking up, kind of like with Scream, with Jumanji, because people are telling other people, this movie's good. Don't let people that act like the original Jumanji something special fool you, because it's not. Anyway, what you been watching, Blake?
Are you sure you're finished?
I don't know. I could rant about Star Wars for fucking hours.
Well,
I already did it.
I haven't seen Star Wars yet, but somebody, spoilers, people on Facebook are assholes. They just
don't worry, I didn't spoil it. It just pissed me off. I'll just say that.
Right.
So I'll leave it at that.
I recently started a bunch of different stuff. I started and finished Mindhunters, which I love, and my wife happened to tell me that Edmund Kemper has been getting a surge in fan mail because of the portrayal that the actor gives of him, and he's very close. I mean, he even looks like him. The shit is creepy.
Dude, it is so good.
Yeah, so I've been watching that. I started watching Serial Killer Culture by John Borowski.
My man Borowski. You know Borowski's my dude. He comes on here all the time.
Yeah, I should get him to come on and plug my book while I plug his. Let's see if that helps. But, I've been watching that. I watched Starry Eyes, which I thought was amazing. I started and finished Stranger Things, seasons 1 and 2. I went back and watched some really old stuff, too, though, like, older movies, like 1980s slasher movies, and some of them which were not good enough to even warrant remembering the title of. But I'm going to try to sit down and watch Chopping Mall this week because that's one I haven't seen.
Yes.
I've heard of that, but not seen it.
Yeah, I've heard good things. But that's pretty much what I've been watching. My wife and I watched Teeth. I'd never seen it. And needless to say, my thoughts on the female anatomy have now changed a little bit.
What the
fuck? We watched Raw, which was very good. Raw was sort of like, Videodrome, David Cronenberg-ish kind of weird body horror, cannibals.
Nice.
Watching a lot of stuff on Albert Fish. My wife has had an interest in watching and reading about serial killer stuff. So we watched Albert Fish, and then we watched.
Remember our podcast on Albert Fish? That was a good one.
Yes, where we had Marvin. I can't remember his name, but that was
Marvin the black guy.
That's not okay, man. Stop.
That's what
and
he
then
wants to be.
I watched Ripley's Believe It or Not because they had